What is going on, guys? Will Blandon. I'm pretty excited. You probably can't tell, but I'm pretty excited. I officially opened my Navy Federal account today. Was not a simple process, but it wasn't the end of the world. So business bank account for Navy Federal, for those of you who don't know, Navy Federal is a government-backed, which I guess most credit unions are, nonprofit. But I think Navy Federal might be the biggest in the country. You have to have some type of military background usually to get in. You have to get, obviously, a personal first, I believe. And the way you got to do that is go in through, if you're going to go in through a family member that's alive, because Navy Federal is based around the military, armed forces. If you want to go in with a family member that's alive, your father, your grandfather, try to get them to open up an account first. I know it's a lot, but, you know, bear with me. You try to get them to open an account first, and then you piggyback off them. Just even if you have to fund it yourself, give them $100. Tell them, look, I'm just gonna open an account for your Navy Federal. There's a lot of perks, you know, because you were in the military. Once they have an account, you use their number, your father, your grandfather, you get in that way. If they are deceased, just tell them what military branch they were in. I went in through my grandfather. They didn't even really need a lot of information. There really wasn't a lot of information. They usually want military family members that are already in Navy Federal, and then you piggyback off them and get an account. Because all you could do is be a family member or relative of anybody in the armed forces. You get in. But again, my grandfather's deceased. They still let me open an account. I'm sure there's some backdoor ways, like you donate money through certain organizations, and you can probably get in that way. So you have your personal account set up with Navy Federal, and then you go in and you get your business account. Normally this process moves quickly, but I'm, of course, in a pandemic, so everything that I'm doing is going to be harder for me than it is the average person doing this stuff, because I'm in a pandemic. So I had to wait until they no longer were doing PPP loans for the government. Those government-backed loans. They would not allow any new people to open accounts until they were done giving those out. I think it ended like July 29th, somewhere around there. And I think a few days later, I started the process of opening my account with Navy Federal. I printed out the form and wasted a lot of time and energy. I'm going to save you guys time and energy. This is why I'm building a holding company course. I printed out the forms for nothing because they're not going to let me fax the forms. I simply got on the phone. This is the part you got to be patient. The whole process, I probably was on the phone with the guy for a good 30 minutes. Just going over what I needed, information about my company. I had on deck. You want to have that stuff on deck right there next to you, in front of you, whatever. Answered the questions. And I still have to go print it one last form out that's really easy to fill out, upload it through my phone, and then send it to the email that he sent me. So it's a longer than normal process. Normally, I'm assuming you would just fill out the forms, you know, upload them. That was another thing. I couldn't figure out how to upload my stuff on the app because it's a personal Navy Federal account. You know, I think you got to establish the business one. Probably the easiest way is to call. I'm sure if you're looking at this video after this pandemic, it'll be much easier. And they probably won't keep you on hold so long. I was on hold a good 10 minutes. Normally though, Navy Federal on the personal side picks up fast. If you have a personal account with Navy Federal, nice, streamlined. They answer the phone quickly, very properly. I think it's like 24/7. I think like 24/7. You can call and somebody's eventually going to pick up. The business side, not so much. It could because of the pandemic. I stayed on the phone for a good 10 minutes waiting for him to pick up. He asked me, majority of questions. Obviously, he already knew I had a personal Navy Federal account. He asked me for that stuff. Well, he didn't even have to ask me that. It was already on his screen. Answered the questions. He sent me emails while we're going through the process over the phone. DocuSign stuff that I had to go in the email and actually sign. And I'm not that techie, guys. So if you're doing this, going in thinking I'm that techie, I'm not at all. Not at all. But I know how to go in the email and look for a DocuSign, click on it, signatures approved, whatever. Very simple, really. Very patient guy, especially if you not that techie. He was very patient with me. And we got knocked out. I still got to go to Staples, print out the one form, upload it through my phone by taking a snapshot, and then go back in the email, send them those documents, call them back up one last time. But the account's basically open because they saw my good standing of good, like you have to have a good standing document from when you open your corporation. I still had that form. I didn't even have to send that form to him. He went on that state where I formed my holding company. He saw the documents from the website from when I incorporated my holding company and saw that it was still in good standing. Did a screenshot of that document. So that's one less document I have to send them. I thought that was amazing. So they see my corporation's in good standing. That was very simple. So basically I'm only sending them a copy of my tax ID document. And I think that's it, guys. I think I'm in there. I gave them the $5 out of my personal Navy Federal account. So it's official that I will have a holding company account in Navy Federal. My first business holding company account just happens to be an S corporation. I named the company, my holding company, I might as well just tell you, after my grandparents that raised me on my mother's side, my mother's parents. I named my holding company after them because they basically raised me. But you probably would have to know me to know what that name is. You would have to know me personally. So it's official. I have a holding company business account with Navy Federal. I will go into more details about opening an account with Oxygen app, the Oxygen business app. So look for videos for that. But it's official. My first business corporate holding company account was with Navy Federal. I feel very comfortable with that. I could sleep good at night with them as my first holding company account, because you got to remember the whole part of building a holding company is to shield you from lawsuits. So having a bank that you feel comfortable with is very important in this process. I projected I would make at least $100,000 to up to $500,000 a year. That's just projections. I can hope, but those are my projections. Because you want to give a high projection, because in the event you do blow up and your company makes a lot of money, you don't want to have to adjust that. You may have to call in and adjust that, because if you have too much money, they might get nervous and shut your account down or something. So it's good to have the range of what you think your projected sales are. So if it's anything under that, I'm good. You might be crazy, but my goal is to get my holding company to make anywhere from $100,000 to $200,000 a year, and in return just pay me as an employee $50,000 to $60,000 a year, and just pay for everything else. That's my goal with this holding company structure. With Navy Federal, I will have approximately 4 accounts. I will have a personal account with Navy Federal for personal checking, personal savings. But on the business side of my holding company, I will have a business checking, and then I'll also have a business savings account in Navy Federal. So I'll have 5 accounts. I will be able to move money from one account to another. I'm allowed to do that with Navy Federal. I can move my personal funds into my holding company or vice versa. I won't do that too often, but I have the capability. And if you want more details on this holding company structure, why I went with Navy Federal, you can send me an email. If you're lucky enough, I will respond quickly. But I am busy. I'm basically right now driving for Uber, Lyft, doing some online stuff. I'm no longer with Tradera, but I am doing some still Ztegrity, Z Black Card, and I am working on my own holding company course. So if that's interests you and you want to learn more about what I'm doing, look for a link somewhere above or below this video. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't already. And I hope to give you a lot more information about what I'm doing to successfully come back in a pandemic. I'm doing all this during a pandemic and actually get out of debt during probably the worst time in history. And if I could do it in a pandemic, guys, wait till this stuff is over. This is gonna be a piece of cake. Alright, so again, support the channel or Facebook page, either or. I appreciate your support, and I will catch you guys in the next video.